Okay, I don't know why my live just crashed. We'll try this again. I'm taping this for my YouTube, and I'm not really open to doing investigative readings with your ancestors and guides right now, unless it's like a certain for a certain reason, like you need something specifically read about, or the Loa lesson Loa readings. Having said that, I do book them time to time when it seems when synchronicity is right, but I'm really, really busy. So I have a couple minutes before work. I just wanted to talk about so, say you have had an investigation from somebody looking into your frame, your spirit guides. And this comes also because of in two groups recently, people have had questions about readings that they've have gotten from other people. For example, one was confused about how to serve um, St. Martha versus the offerings that were actually given typically to the Loa. Got confused between the two after reading, and then someone else had a reading, but we'll get into a little bit more about that one later. But basically, it was actually more a lower reading, and this video is more to do with the dead. But let's in that reading, they're given several male Loas and I think one female Loa, and gave them an Orisha too, which is a little problematic and will because not only are they two different religions, but I mean that's fine if they pick up on it, but they need to be able to tell you a few things about like guidance wise and how to start with these traditions, not to say you have these spirits. So your relationship with your reader is really important. Like you should always be able to feel like at least ask like maybe one question about our direction, say with like an entity, like if you did get like a spirit reading from them, I think that's acceptable, pretty acceptable. So I just made some notes in my phone the other day when I was at my medical appointments, just some points I want to touch on. So and also recently I had a client who I looked into. His dad's actually gave me a bit of a problem. It took me over like 2 weeks to read him actually. um, but very patient, lovely, lovely clients. I have lovely clients for the most part. So his question after I read into his ancestors and guides, because it was a lot of information, and a lot of people who are attracted to spiritualism or Sansei also tend to have sometimes have larger courts. So, anyways, his question was, okay, so how do I work with these spirits? What do I do moving forward now? Like you say, I have the spirit, the spirit, the spirit. What do I do with that spirit? It's very easy for people just to say, oh, you have a gypsy. Oh, you have a madama. Oh, you have this. Oh, you have that. But at the end of the day, it's your practice that you have to be able to integrate it. And I'm going to say, make it real. You're not like imagining things to make it real to yourself, like convince yourself. But I'm saying like eventually you should be able to see evidence of either as a result of like the practical advice the spirits give you, or in whatever way that your gifts follow, like dreams, or you have a vision, or you hear a voice. And just be patient with that too, because that takes time. So getting a reading isn't necessarily going to poof do everything for you. It's more of an assistance to your practice so you can develop. So make it real. Eventually see evidence or confirms what you have seen. So maybe you dreamt of or seen the spirit before yourself. So you basically need to go through the information and pick out things that you feel that you can confirm yourself just automatically. Um, Sometimes you'll have that. Hopefully, you have that. If you don't, that's okay. So look for proof, look for synchronicities. I don't recommend necessarily. Hi, Champagne. Hi, Shelly. I don't necessarily recommend that people run around, get reading from this reader, get a reading from that reader, because it can get expensive. Start to do some of the work yourself. But say you have gone to several misas, or you have over time had readings from several mediums. If every single one of them says, oh, I can see the spirit with you, then the chances are that that is good information, good intelligence that you are getting of intelligent, spirit contact that they've independently been able to. And that's why going to misas is traditional, because you have several mediums there that can bounce off of each other what they're seeing, feeling, smelling, sensing, whatever, to make a better picture, a picture of your frame. So be led by the spirit. What you also get, as long as it's good advice, helpful advice in your life, it can be critical advice, but it's warranted, right? So keep being led by the spirit. Study Kardec, so study the philosophy of spiritualism will also put you more in alignment with your spirits and improving yourself, etc. So do the work, Boveda practice. I think it's important to have your white table or whatever set up with assistance, or as best as you can, following advices before you go for an investigation or a reading, because you haven't really started your practice yet. So then just starting your practice after a reading, it's still going to take time. So it's just, the reading is just an assistance to your practice. So have your practice. You need to further develop. You need to further elevate your spirits. You need to further go to misas, and that's the traditional way. If you're practicing on your own, your development may be slower, most likely, than going to traditional and be going to these misas. Follow the advices that the spirits give. So the spirits tell you to take this bath. The spirits tell you what to avoid. If the spirits tell you they want certain things, that's of lesser importance. It's still important, but I'd say following the spiritual advices they give, and following like the moral advice and the ways to improve yourself. And this advice will generally, I give this advice out, spiritual advice. It's basically based on Kardec's work, and is best for you, for peace in your life, for your own happiness, for communication, your own relationships, the way that you operate, whatever. The spirits are going to have something to say, right? So they're going to want to attend and be with you more and be more communicative. Hi, Sabian. I'm really interested in your drums and your some of your handicrafts. So follow the spirit's advices. If they're good advices, then follow them the best you can. And like reflect on, yeah, I really do like tend to, that's my gut response. I need to control that better, or whatever it is. Like reflect on what they gave you as impartially as you can, and then talk to them about, okay, I got the message that you're saying that I need to be more open with inviting new people in my life, or I need to always make sure I'm either evasive with my words or truthful, like my lies are stacking up and other people are lying around me, whatever it is. Like talk to the spirits, have that, you're talking to yourself, but you're not really talking to yourself, you're talking to the spirits about the advices, what we're given. So reflect about what resonates about the advices, what resonates about the spiritual information, any synchronicities or any like relationship or any experience that you've had that you can kind of tie into your reading. Learn the traditions. That's the other thing, that people often have questions after, and the reading that they got was problematic. So go with the right people in the right tradition you're interested in. And if you know more about the tradition, then you're less likely to get a reading, say, from like the wrong priest. Like if you want to more practice the white table on a spiritismo, you should go to an espiritista. Yes, lots of people can read your spirits, but it's in the sort of like in the conduit of the tradition, I find is probably better going to serve you. So there's no shortcuts. Learn to work the table, learn about the tradition, ask questions, like I said in the very beginning. So stuff to be clarify about, like someone like a priest might be really familiar with what they're saying, but might have omitted a few things, a more further detail, or questions you have about where to place certain spirits that you have, or about certain things that you've received previous, how that ties into the reading, or whatever it is. Like, yeah, you may need further readings in the future, but if you're discussing the information that the priest sends to you, I feel like that's fair, like a follow-up. I mean, not like huge paragraphs, sending huge paragraphs to people, expecting them to read it and all that, but I keep in touch with the people I read for. So, and sometimes I have to go back and relook at the reading what we were talking about. But so lastly, get the materials that they asked for. So and so wants a perfume, so and so wants a cauldron, so and so wants a doll, so and so wants this, wants that. I'd say more importantly is supplies for your Boveda, like getting your holy water, getting your cascarilla, getting white flowers, getting your white bath together, materials for your own cleansing, divination materials. Say a spirit wants runes or spirit wants cards. I find that that's maybe a better upfront investment than, hi, Alvarado, than just going out and buying a doll. First of all, they have to be prepared, and the spirit may show you things that go in there, but in what I was taught, it's added to a specific recipe that we prepare it, or these things should at least be like named, even if it's just like, this is for my madame and you don't know the name, and blessed with holy water, etc. At the minimum, despite that these things should be prepared. So a lot of people want to buy the things, but it's not about the things, and actually materialism goes against the principles of being in spirit and spiritualism in a way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Any other questions you have? I made this video just for future reference for people too. And I'll talk to you guys later. If you have any requests of things or anything, any people maybe you want me to interview in the future, I'm coming up with sort of an outline and some future ideas. And I got to go to work. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day.